Alright, hey guys. So I wanted to make a video for a while now. I made a couple of videos that I really enjoyed, but haven't been able to follow them up with what I wanted to do. So I've decided to make a little bit of a more simpler video. The goal of this video is just showing some of the stuff that I'm doing, so it's kind of like a dev blog or a blog. I'm going to go into just show you a couple of slides from the Nordic Game Awards, I mean, the preparations that I'm doing for that. I'm going to show you a blueprint that I'm working on, and hopefully be able to make a tutorial on how to do it, and then just give you a little bit of an insight into some of the stuff that I'm doing for Bazel, and how I'm trying to upgrade our kind of build processes into doing something more something faster, and trying to get our studio to be able to use it fully. So jumping really quick into the into what I'm doing for the conference. So we are going to be kind of soft announcing our game. So this is one of the slides that I'm going to be showing, and another one here. It does depict kind of the theme of the game, and the work that I'm doing is I'm writing the text, just explaining what the game is, how is it played, and then we're talking about the kind of the core loop of the game, kind of generally what the player is going to be doing, and this is kind of the high level loop here. Harvesting, and then you have to take what you harvested into move it somewhere through logistics, and then you do manufacturing, and then the loop kind of closes. So I'm not going to be going with the kind of the traditional 10-slide company presentation deck. This is going to be much more focused on just whoever is interested in the actual project. We're going to be sharing what we're doing, and hopefully we can find some people who are willing to come and work for us. We're hiring for a bunch of positions, and just raising kind of awareness of our studio and our product. So second thing that I wanted to show was some of the stuff that I'm doing in Unreal Engine here. I had this open before. So we are doing a little bit of a trailer, and the recording of this is a little bit annoying. It's not fast. So let's see if I can show this off. So the goal is to show that the players themselves are able to put stuff into the world. So this is just our test level, and I made a blueprint that I call Dynamic Track Generator. And it has this kind of toolbox here on the left. So you can see if I press add straight, it adds a segment, like a rail track segment here. So I can add turns, and I can add another turn. So as you can see, I can just make this, or make it like this. And one of the questions that I usually get is that why don't I do this just with a spline? I mean, this is going to cause problems with if you go on uneven surfaces. Well, just one of the reasons why I didn't go with a spline is that I feel like I have much more control over this, like this. So and it actually also supports saving. So now this saves into the unique ID default, and if I duplicate this, and now I have another one I can load, because it's set to default. It loads the information from this one here. So let's move it over here, load it, and then there is some logic that I've made. Let's load it again. That I made here. That it's called start delay. So I can just show you what it does. So you can probably now hear my computer going crazy. There's something wrong with the cooling of it. I hope this isn't going to be too noticeable. Okay, so now when I press play, so now you can see what's happening. And the reason why I wanted not to do this with a spline is that for kind of the presentation that I'm going to be doing, or like the demos that I want to do, I want this to be kind of drawn into the world one by one, and kind of placed, and then I'm going to be adding particle effects and things like that. So so I can even kind of stack them even more. I can load this one here again, and load this. So it isn't really practical, but it looks kind of cool. So I can give this one a name, default 1, save that to this slot, and then clear it and add another straight, and just draw a couple of things here, and let's go here and here and here and here. So so these are just the I actually don't need to save it, I think. Yeah, that's fine. So so this is the stuff that I want to make a video about really soon, showing off how I actually did the blueprints. This is all done in blueprints. and it's not super complicated, but it does touch on a lot of kind of subjects that are have to do with procedural generation, which is something that I really enjoy. So so it kind of looks like this, being animated in, which I'm pretty happy about. So so jumping forward, another thing that I'm really interested in and also doing, I'm just gonna open up Visual Studio and I'm gonna minimize Unreal because my fan is going crazy. I've made a couple of videos with the Bazel build system. I made a video showing off how you can do your kind of custom dependency. So I download oh yeah, that's actually this one. I download an executable from the internet. In this case it was Python, and I made a custom rule that does that. And then I made another video that shows off the Python rules themselves. How do you use the Python rules? So here we can see that I have a Python script here, and I have a build file that uses the Python script and injects a dependency, which is the requests library. And yeah, I'm even messing around with it here, so this code isn't correct. So what I'm working on now is that one of the kind of limitations that this has is that the kind of the root of the project is going to have a requirements file, and if you have a complex project, you're going to have a long list of requirements here. And the way that this is set up now, if let's see if I can undo into it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's supposed to be like this. So if I use the pip installer here and point it to the requirements file, anytime that it's going to run, I think it's going to have to install all of the requirements, which isn't really, like, it's fine now because I only have one package, but but I got a message on, or a comment on Slack that I really liked, which was taking a look at doing pip parse instead of pip install, which is supposed to install the dependencies just basically on demand. So if somebody actually uses a library that library uses the like a requirement, then it's going to lazily install the library. So so I'm still kind of trying to figure out, and I've started setting up the project example lazy Python install here, and I'm just started copying over the code. But what I'm gonna do is that here on the left here, you can see that I have this. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be here. I really don't like. It's really difficult sometimes to see the folder structure in Visual Studio Code, but yeah, so I'm setting up just this default Python module, like this custom Python module, and the intention is that this Python module is going to have the have a requirement that is not used in the main one here, and then I'm going to set up the build file to I'm going to set up a Py binary. No, sorry, I'm going to set up a Py library, and the Py library is going to have dependencies like this on something, standard thing library. So I'm actually looking at click. I want to use click for the command line interface logic. So the library is going to depend on click, but not the main thing. And I'm going to see if I can actually piece this all together. So yeah, this is kind of an overview of what I am working on and thinking about. So I'm hoping that I can do this more frequently, and because I really enjoy making these videos, and it's fun to kind of connect with people and being able to kind of extend the ecosystem and share what I'm doing. So so yeah, thanks.